to another Yoga with Tins class. Today we're just going to have a look at a few poses that aren't used very often, and we're going to use a block in some poses that are used regularly just to increase your body awareness in those poses, and we're going to have a look at alternatives to some poses if you have bad hands and knees. As always, if you have any medical conditions, you need to consult a doctor before doing any exercises, and it's probably better to go to a class with an in-person teacher. So we're going to start coming into a seated position, any position that's comfortable for you, and we're going to start with some seated cat-cows. So I'm just going to turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing. So on the inhale, you're going to push the chest out, look up to the ceiling, and on the exhale, you're rounding the spine, pulling the chin into the chest. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding. You can make these as large or as small as is comfortable for you. You can start off smaller and then get larger as the spine warms up. You want the end of the movement to coincide with the end of the breath. So at the top of the inhale, your chin is up to the ceiling, and at the end of the exhale, the chin's on the chest with this nice rounding through the spine. And just a gentle way to warm the spine up. 2 more. And then we're going to come into gate pose. So you are going to come up onto your hands and knees, onto your knees. You're going to take your right foot out to the side, keeping the toes pointed forwards. Sorry. Then you're going to take your right hand down the leg, and the left hand is going to come over the top. And you're going to get a nice strong side stretch all through this side of the body. And some of you will be able to clasp the hands on the leg, so people's sides will be that flexible. Other people might not come quite as far as me. Just go to where it's comfortable for you. As long as you've got that nice stretch up your side of your body, you're doing the pose right. Inhaling up, bring the leg in, and then taking the opposite leg out. So while you're doing this, you want to be pressing in through the outside edge of the far leg. Just come back slightly. Again, left arm this time on top of the left leg, palm facing the ceiling. Inhale the right arm up, and exhale over. And on the inhale, you're stretching through the side, so that on the exhale you can come over a little bit more. And on the next inhale, coming back up, and coming out of that pose. So now we're going to take the block to the side. We're going to bring the feet in underneath the hips, and we're just going to come into an Uttanasana on our way up, just stretching those hamstrings out. So hands in front of the feet. You want to keep the back as straight as you can, so you want to be pushing the chest forwards. Bend the knees if you need to, just so that you can reach the floor, or you can use your block to support your hands, and allow your head to relax. Bend the knees as much as you need to in this pose. You should still feel a stretch through the hamstrings, but having that stability underneath the hands is important for this class. So then inhaling up, bringing the block with you if you're using it. If not, grab it before you come up. Now we're going to have a look at Tadasana. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the block in between the thighs. So you're going to have the bottom of the block in line with the top of the kneecaps and the top of the block in the upper thighs. So I want you to squeeze the block with your legs as well as pushing down through the feet, just making sure that all four corners of the feet are pressing into the mat, bringing the arms down by your sides, shoulders nice and back, head lifted as though you've got a balloon, helium balloon coming out from the centre of your head, stretching that spine nice and long. And just feel how engaged the legs are with this pose, having the block in between the thighs. Feel the groundedness through the feet and the length through the spine and through the body. On the next exhale, bending the knees deeply, bringing the bum back, inhaling the arms up. So now we're doing chair pose with the block. So the block stops the knees from coming in too much or out too much. Keeps those knees in the correct position. Allows you to focus on the feeling in the legs in this pose. So this is quite a strong one for the legs. Coming up on the next inhale and dropping the arms down on the exhale. Removing the block, we're going to come back down onto the mat. So we're going to have a look at an easier way to do the side angle pose. So we're going to kneel down with the knees under the hips, and you're going to take the right foot out to the side. So it's going to be in the same position that it was for the gate pose, but this time you're going to take your left hand down onto the floor and the right arm is going to come up over the top of the head. So you're stretching out all the right side of the body. So this is the same as the standing side angle, but it requires less strength through the legs. So if you're having a day where you've got a few strong poses but you still want the side stretch but you don't want the pose to be as strong, or if you're just having a day where your leg strength isn't great, this is a good alternative. On the next inhale, coming back, placing the knee back underneath the hip and then taking the left leg out, hand down to the floor, arm overhead. So you want to make sure that the chest stays facing forwards. You can have the face looking upwards or you can look downwards. You can stay looking forwards, whichever feels most comfortable for your neck. And you want to make sure you're still elongating through this side of the body. You don't want to just be falling into it. By keeping the chest nice and rounded and the shoulders in line with each other, that helps you to keep the openness on this side of the body. On the next inhale, coming back up. Now we're going to come down to lie on our backs. And we're going to have a look at some common poses that are done kneeling, but we're going to do them supine, just to make them a little bit easier for those days where you don't want quite so much motion or quite so much activity. So we're going to start with child's pose, so lying on our backs, bringing our knees into the chest, and just taking our hands down the sides of our legs to our ankles. Allowing the knees to open out slightly, if that's how you usually do your child's pose. And that allows you to feel a little bit of stretch in the inner hips as well. If you do want a little bit more sensation in this one, the same as you'd have in your normal child's pose, you can lift your head off the floor just to bring your chest nearer to the legs. Exhale, bringing the hands down by the sides, keeping the knees where they are. So you want to bring your knees now out to a tabletop position, so 90 degrees, bend in the knees, and then on the inhale, you're going to stretch the right leg and the left arm out. Exhale, bringing them both back in. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, back in. We're going to repeat this a few times with your own breathing. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, bringing everything back in together. Again, moving with the breath, so the end of the exhale should see you back in your base position. The end of the inhale should see you fully stretched out. So this just gives you a stretch on the diagonal plane of the body. One more on each side. And then we're going to bring our feet down to the floor. And we're just going to do a gentle spinal twist here now. So we're going to windshield wipe the legs. So on the exhale, just dropping the knees over to the right hand side. Inhaling back to centre. And exhaling to the left. Inhale, centre. Exhale over. Inhale, centre. Exhale down. Inhale. And just do 9 times with your own breathing now. Noticing the sensations through the body as you do these poses. Now next time when you come up, you're going to bring yourself into a suitable relaxation pose, whatever's more comfortable for you today. So I'm just going to bring my knees together. There's my palms on my abdomen. You could come into Shavasana. You could come into a seated pose. Supine Baddha Konasana. It's completely up to you, whatever feels comfortable for you. And just bringing your awareness to your breathing. And then slowly bringing your awareness to the crown of your head. And breathing into the crown of the head while your awareness is there. Bringing the awareness down between the eyes. Breathing into the area between the eyes. centre of the chest. The hips. Base of the spine. Taking the awareness to the centre of the right foot. To the base of the spine. To the centre of the left foot. Base of the spine. To the middle of the hips. To the belly button. To the centre of the chest. Back up to the top. Up to between the eyes. Bring the awareness back to the crown of your head. Becoming aware of the whole body. And you can stay here as long as you like. And when you're ready, just bring awareness back to the fingers and toes by wriggling them slowly. And then slowly coming up to sit. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you